Welcome back to Soul Sundays. In this episode, we're going to be talking about my addiction and struggles with porn. If you want to know how I overcame that addiction, please continue to watch and listen, for this is the Love Shown podcast. So, in order to tell you guys this, I have to start from the beginning. Growing up, I had a fairly normal childhood. Two-parent household. Mom and dad was married. Had a little brother. Yeah, you can say white picket fence. You can say that. Everything was pretty normal. I grew up in the church. I did. And there were lots of things that kind of led up to this point of the unhealthiness. And I want to say I've had my first sexual experience at 6. And looking back at that now that I'm grown and older now, at the time I felt like that was healthy, but now I'm like, nah, that was very highly inappropriate. I did trust that person. So at the time, I didn't feel like it was foul play at the time. I didn't feel like it was foul play. So I learned how to pleasure myself at 6. And that day went home. And this is what I still don't understand, and maybe I will understand it soon enough. No one told me like this is bad, don't let your parents see. Like, no one told me that. So when I went home and started pleasuring myself, something was telling me, don't let your parents see. So, I would peek and do it, and peek and do it, and peek and do it. And then, of course, boom. I guess I was really caught up, child. And my mom caught me. And shout out to mom. Hey, mom. My mom did the best that she could do. I hope she doesn't feel like I'm bashing her or anything, because now that I'm a mom, I understand now certain things that she did. I understand now. And it was a bear. It was a giant bear that I was doing what I was doing with. And she took the giant bear, propped it in the den in front of my dad and my little brother. And she was like, show your dad what you just did. And I was like, girl, I ain't about to show my daddy what I just did. Are you crazy? I ain't about to show my daddy nothing. So, of course, I was just laying there, not doing nothing, crying. I'm like, I'm not finna. And of course, like black parents do, had a belt waiting. And of course, I never did what she asked me to do. And she proceeded to whoop me and took the bear. And that was it. There was no conversation. There was no, where did you learn this from? Who taught you this? It's not your fault. Like, you're not in trouble. Let me tell you what this is. Let me tell you why it feels good. I just wish there was a conversation, not just a whooping and take the bear and that was it. Um, but it was crazy because my sentiments were right. I was like, okay, well, now I can never see you get. That's where I feel like me becoming a habitual liar started, because I'm not gonna stop doing something, especially when you don't explain it to me. But now I'm finna get even more clever now, because number one, I knew I shouldn't let you catch me. And number two, now I'm gonna think of a better way. And I did. I can say I don't think I've ever, yeah, I don't think my mom ever caught me. Again, there's been lots of close calls. Honestly, safe to say, I was addicted to pleasuring myself. And I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew it felt good. Fast forward to about eighth grade was actually when I knew. Like, my mom gave me the birds and the bees story. My dad never talked to me about sex. And if he did, I don't remember. But I do remember my mom talking to me about the birds and the bees and me not understanding anything that she's saying. But that was it. Never had another conversation about sex and what it actually was after that. Um, so fast forward to eighth grade, I was talking to a girl at my church. I used to hang out with her all the time, and we were just talking about girl stuff. And she said, um, I don't know what we were talking about, but she was like, what do you think sex is? she was so, she was like, what do you think sex is? And I told her, I was like, you know, uh, I told her basically how I pleasured myself. And she was like, absolutely not. She was like, no. And she told me what sex was. And that was the first time I heard what sex was. And I was like, I remember saying this. I was like, ouch. I remember saying, that sounds like it hurts. So I definitely was not curious about sex and how it worked and how things went after that. Surely wasn't. When I started watching porn, I want to say I was my junior year in high school is when I started. We had a computer desktop at the house, and I would watch like soft porn, but not the real thing. Like, of course, y'all know soft porn is not the real deal, honey. But I didn't know that I had a problem until I got married. And my husband told me, I want you to stop watching porn. I don't know to this day why he said that. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask him. Not really sure. But yeah, he just said it. And I was like, sure. Of course. What do you mean? Of course. That's easy peasy. What? I can do that right now. Sounding so stupid. Girl, you really thought that that was that easy. You're in love and you're like, oh, yeah, of course, anything for you. And you think you can give something up until it's time. So I feel like the first couple days, I was okay. Started pleasuring myself with my imagination because that's what I did. Um, my whole childhood is just used imagination, right? But once you finally see the real deal, it's just different. So I was like, oh, this isn't working out. And that's when I realized that I had a problem and I had an addiction. But of course, I didn't care to fix it. Then my marriage started getting bad. Someone else had entered into my life and went straight back watching it like it was nothing. And I knew I had a problem, but I didn't address it. I did not address it. I was like, I'm not addressing this. I'm gonna continue to do what I do. This is healthy, you know. Everyone says pleasuring yourself is healthy as a woman and it's good for you. It's good for the anatomy. Just feeding myself with all these lies. And I didn't care also. I didn't care. I was in a spell and a point that I didn't care. And I also was a functioning addict. I heard other people's stories of, oh yeah, I would do it at my job, or I would go in the car and watch it in my job and do it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not that extreme. Like I can wait till everybody's out of the house. Like I was just feeding myself with all of these, oh, it's not that bad. You know, because that's what you do. And that's what the devil does. He say, you know, it's not that bad. You're not as bad as such so and so. So it can't be controlling you because you have self-control. Lies, all lies. I have the She Reads Bible, and she has these little things that she puts in with her little 2 cents, and that's where I read it from. And she was like, no matter how far you stray from God, no matter how deep in the slums you think you are, you could be on drugs, at start selling your body. It doesn't matter how bad and how at the deepest darkest corner, it does not matter where you are because God is always there, and he's always got you, and he's always going to be there overseeing you, keeping you safe. And when you finally invite him in and there's an opening, he'll politely come and say, hey, can I come? Are you ready now? And I had that moment when I was working, and the spirit of incubus and succubus, and I don't know if y'all know what incubus and succubus is. I'll put it over here somewhere, the definition of them just came over me while I was driving. This has never happened in my years of pleasuring myself since I was 6. And here I am, 26, 27, at work, and this urge just comes. And I'm like, this has never happened to me in my life. The urge just comes. And I'm like, okay. And I think I was denying it for maybe an hour or so. I was like, okay, I can fight this urge. Like I'm at work right now. Like I don't even have nowhere to do it. And it came over me so powerful. I pulled over into a hotel parking lot, went in my back seat in broad daylight, and pleasured myself. And it was quick. And I gathered myself up, got in the driver's seat, and drove off and was like, okay, I have a problem. And I need to fix this. How do I fix this? I've been doing this all my life. This can't happen again. How do I fix this? And I wasn't saying these things out loud, they were in my heart. And I cried out for help and for God's help to help me get this spirit off of me. So I made a vow at that point. I stopped and just continued to pleasure myself. Because, and I'll tell you guys, it was hard to pleasure myself without that, right? And I found myself wanting to still watch it, right? And then I came across the rose. I don't even need to explain what the rose is. Y'all know what it is. When I tell you that thing, that thing, that thing, that thing is something serious. It literally sucks the soul out of your, it literally sucks the soul out of your body. Do not get it. I repeat, do not get it. So I got that. And of course, that helped extremely well, right? But by this time, me and my husband had separated and we were moving back in with each other, and we moved back in. And I was like, I'm going to get this for me. I'm going to get it. So I ordered it, got it, and it helped. But of course, once the devil got you, he got you. And because I was continuing to bring the incubus and succubus spirit in the house, then the devil creeped and was like, oh, you can watch little clips on Twitter. That's better than going to actual porn site. So I started watching porn on Twitter. Y'all, it's full blown porn. Like, it's not like, just denying, bro. Like, denying. Like, the denial was real. So here we are again. I had stopped watching porn for, I want to say 6 months. And then I started right back. So here I am with my rose in Twitter. And we're repeating the cycle again. And then Twitter wasn't enough. And then I went back on the websites. And now we're back. We're back. Full blown back. The key to stopping any addiction, not even just this particular one, but any addiction, you have to honestly seek God. In my life, I was starting to seriously seek God and to seriously long for Him. And He says, if you long for me, you will purify yourself. So one day, I'm watching the B. Simone and Megan Ashley podcast. Know for sure. Check them out. Love them. And of course, in the beginning, it was, oh yeah, masturbation and pleasuring myself. And yeah, we bringing all this sex expert, and it was all of that, and I was like, yeah. And then literally before I saw that episode, God spoke to me and he gave me a list of things, right? One was stop cussing, and then the other one was work on your anger, right? I'm like, okay. But that third one, stop watching porn. And I was like, okay. And me sitting here right now, I can honestly say wrapping yourself around spiritual people and women and men of God will help your addiction as well. Because now I'm realizing they helped me. They did an episode, and I want to say this is one of the first episodes where they started talking about God. And they had a guy on there. If I can remember his name, I'll put him right here. And he was like, women, stop pleasuring yourself. It consumes you. And now it's your God. And you're putting that before God. And when I tell you I got up after that episode, they said that God told them to stop cussing, pleasuring themselves. And I was like, I tell you, I had to pause the TV. I'm like, bro, God literally just told me that too. What's going on? That is insane to me that God told me that, and then the next episode was that, and I was like, what? And B Simone's like, yeah, I'm not pleasuring myself no more. I stopped, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But when that comment was, that's your God, and you're putting that over God, and you love that more, I literally got up from out my seat, went in the room, grabbed the rose, threw it in the trash. Having other women of God who are going through the same thing, God told them the same thing. And I've been on a journey of seeking God. And once you get on that journey, y'all, you better hold on for dear life. You start realizing you don't crave anything anymore. You start to realize, I haven't wanted to go to the strip club in some months, or I haven't had the urge to pleasure myself in a minute. Like, you just start realizing these things, not even knowing that they're happening. And I'm not perfect. I'm not sitting here and telling y'all right now that I'm perfect and that I'm healed and all of this. Like, let's be realistic. I have my slip up, I have my moments. And that's another thing. Like, if you mess up, don't beat yourself up about it. Pray, ask God for repentance and forgiveness and strength to overcome it. And then you take it day by day. It's not going to be, Rome wasn't built in a day. This is an addiction. Be kind to yourself. And also, watch what you put into your energy and your field and your ears and your body. Watch what you're putting into that. Because if all you're listening to all day long is rub me, lick me, suck me, that's the energy that's gonna come with that. So listen to some uplifting music. Stop looking at them HBO Max things where there's sex scenes. Like, seriously, like, it sounds crazy, but you had to do it. If you really want to beat this thing, you have to do it. This is what you have to do. And then, of course, you have to seek God as well, and everything will fall in line. No matter how bad you think it is, no matter how big of a sinner or how bad of a person you think you are, God is always there. He will never leave you. My list for getting over an addiction: surround yourself and your energy with non sexual things. I know it's hard. It's just America. Everything's sexualized, but trust me, you can do it. Start looking at TikTokers, YouTubers, podcasters that are aligned with you and your vision and what you think and what your goals are. Listen to them and really process it. And then also seek God and really seek Him and really start that relationship with Him so that you can overcome. I promise you, on this journey that I have with God, I am a totally different person than I was a few years ago. And I know it's only going to get better. But this is a community that I'm creating. This is a safe space that I'm creating because I see you. I understand what you're going through. So please, anywhere, down in the comments, down anywhere, social media, email, whatever, vent. Tell me how you really feel down in the comments. Tell me what you're going through currently right now, and tell me what you're addicted to and what you think you're addicted to. And let's help each other. Let's see if we can find other people that you may identify with, or maybe someone you just never know, So speak, talk to people, talk to me, talk down in the comments, and let's build a community of a safe space for for us and to do this together, because you're not alone. And I know people say that a lot and it's so cliche, but trust me, you're not alone. Look at me. I'm an example. Once again, I'm not completely healed, but you're not alone. We can do this together. We're in this together. And you got this. And we're going on this journey, and it's beautiful, and I can't wait to see where the journey takes us, because I know it's going to be awesome. I also have this bracelet. I got a bracelet. Cause TikTok be listening, girl. TikTok be listening, girl. You can say, "Ooh, ice cream," and then next time you scroll, here you go, you see some ice cream. But this guy was like, "How to stop masturbating." He suggested some of these um bracelets. So just for like a little covenant or a promise for God. So you can get you one of these little bracelets too. And I know that sounds crazy, y'all. Like, you're like, really? I done had a 20-year addiction. You telling me to get some stupid little bracelet? Don't knock it till you try it. If you tried it and it didn't work for you, okay. But if you haven't tried it, do it. I thank y'all so much for listening and watching. Whoever's on YouTube, hello. And let's just start this healing journey together, and let's get the discussion going. And this is a safe space, guys. No one's gonna judge you. So yeah, this has been the first episode of Soul Sunday. Thank y'all so much for watching. See you next Sunday. Bye.